It is the Change of Plans podcast. Joe and Vinny.
Yes.
At it.
Took a week off.
Yeah. And guess whose fault it was?
It was mine.
Not me.
It was
Look
mine.
at us matching in black.
Yeah, we are the men in black today.
That's pretty dope. We look good.
We do. We're good looking men.
How was your week? You just said you had a week on you, huh? Tell me about it.
It was an interesting week. So I think the last time we were on the show, I made a premature announcement that my stepson Jess was going to Quinnipiac.
Oh, okay. So that's not happening.
Yeah, one of the perks of being the stepdad is sometimes I'm out of that circle of trust.
So what's happening? Where's he going?
He's going to Coastal Carolina. So I will say, I did a lot of maturing over the past week or two. So I will say it's probably the first time I felt like a stepdad in 5 years, right? So, I was a big fan of Quinnipiac. Obviously, great academics. He got a bunch of scholarships. Same thing with Sacred Heart. I knew he loved Coastal. Who wouldn't? It's palm trees, hot girls. Curriculum is leaves some things to be desired. And so I think I was, by my own admission, probably pushing Quinnipiac a little bit too much. So he initially said he was going to go. And he talked to his dad, his stepmom. He talked to my wife. And I knew he made the decision because obviously my wife talked to me about it. But then I spent a week kind of stewing a little bit on how I was going to approach it. Was it going to be my typical just come hot out of the box, say no? I was really sure, I think I did a post. I haven't posted it yet. I think one of the most difficult things as being I'm just trying to get our live post up here on my Facebook. As a parent is not taking these decisions personal.
Yeah.
Right. So, you as a parent, you think what's best for your kid, right? Because we're older, we've been through life a little bit. We kind of see the big picture. So I took it super personal. And my initial thoughts was he wasn't going. I'm not going to participate in this type of buffoonery. I was just real mad about it. But then I took a week and I realized it wasn't about me. It wasn't about my wife. It wasn't about his dad and what we wanted necessarily. He really had to make the decision for himself, right? Because he is a different person than all of us. Clearly he doesn't have my DNA because that'd be really weird. And we'd have to explain that to some doctors.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
But it was really the only place he really wanted to go and see himself right? Like he was finally excited about it. So I remember this past Sunday, because last Sunday, and he still hasn't told me, right? So I was like, we're going to go golfing. We're going to have a man talk. And of course, he wants his friend to go. So I got to have this talk in the kitchen 10 minutes before we run. And, I told him, I was like, listen, you got to keep me in the loop, right? And I think part of it was I came out hot about what I thought about Coastal was at the time. And I can't blame the kid because he already knew what my opinion was. But I told him, we're going to have disagreements. And I think this is important for parents that you explain you're going to have disagreements, but that doesn't mean you're not going to support them. Right. And that's what I told him. And it really made me think you know what, at the end of the day, you got to be proud of the kid and respect the kid for making the decision for himself. Right. Making a decision in the face of people saying, hey, maybe you're making the wrong decision. So did a lot of growing up over the past week. That was a difficult one.
Wow, that's good for you though.
But I'm kind of proud of myself, but I'm more proud of him for making that decision. But I am proud of myself because I didn't fly off the handle, and it's nice because he's finally excited about going to college. The dealing with the aspect of him being out of state and so far away, I think is going to be difficult when it gets there. And that's I think as an attorney, My wife's struggling with it, which you would expect, right? That's her only kid. They are attached at the hip. And I think from a husband perspective and someone who solves problems all day, I can't solve that one. Right. So it's been a really weird couple of weeks of, it's not my first time parenting, but I think realizing that you got to put yourself second fiddle to what the kid wants at that point. And trusting in the process of you did what you needed to do to lay the foundation and kind of let him grow, let him go and do his own thing. So he's excited. He's picking classes tonight. So he'll be doing that. But yeah, it was a bit crazy for a little bit, so now you're and everything's the last thing. He's got his prom on Saturday. That's the last prom. He's playing his last baseball season. By the way, he's batting 405.
Nice.
Got like a 1.2 ERA. He's killing it. So I'm excited, but yeah, it was I was super amped. I think like selfishly for Quinnipiac too, because it's somewhere where I wanted to go as an undergrad, where I went for law school, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. But I'm happy he made the decision for himself, and we'll see where it goes. But I'm proud of him. So that was kind of it. I mean, my work week was shit. So, but
how was that?
I had a 3-day trial last week that never even got started because the attorney from Fairfield is a big POS, and he's like a human tampon with legs. I did threaten, well, I didn't, not to him, but I did say some inappropriate things to a marshal about him. I won't mention his name. So it was completely frustrating because let's get to the end, get these people divorced, move on with their life, and they're just billing machines. I was picking a jury this week on a criminal case, assault second, allegations of basically spousal abuse. And I told the state that, the victim's not showing up. And one thing I know is people, right? Like you could stick with the facts of the case and whatever you think you could prove. So I wasted 2 days of jury selection and then got a dismissal today because she didn't show up, which was good, but once again, complete waste of time. So that kind of sucked. Like I said, I'm a very result-focused person, but once again, it's all first world problems. Like I think this stress of the college stuff was really kind of compounding everything else. I'm usually pretty good with what is it? When you come on, help me out here. I am stuttering today.
I don't know this word.
I'll get back to it.
Anybody know what he's talking about?
Compartmentalize.
Compartmental.
Yeah.
Compartmentalizing.
See, it ain't that easy. It ain't that easy.
Thank you, Kelly. Compartmentalizing.
How did you even spell that? Look how long that word is.
She spelled it fast and she spelled it properly.
Dude, that is a long word.
Yeah, it is.
So that was that. But so that stress is over. So he's excited. So it was national, like it was funny actually. So I was talking to my buddy like 2 days ago, and I'm like, listen, don't tell anyone he made a decision. Then he screenshots, so the kid already posted it on Instagram. So once again, stepdad was behind. But so it was that in a nutshell. But all good things going forward. So and I'm here. I made it. I haven't fought a silverback gorilla yet. So but we got to get into that debate because that fires me up. I don't know if you guys have heard about this silverback gorilla debate. 100 people versus a silverback gorilla. Who wins, Joe?
Here's the problem. They're very strong. 100 guys. You got to all go at once. That's the trick. Somebody's got to grab it from behind.
Pause.
And then the other guy's got to try to maintain control of his arms.
That's not going to happen, Joe.
Yeah, it is.
They lift 4,000 pounds.
It's fine.
How are you going to control this guy's arms? This is what's going to happen, Joe.
All you have to do is listen. It's if you can take out his legs and have people on his arms, somebody can come up behind
and do what?
Choke it out.
His bones are 3 times as dense as ours.
Okay.
So what's going to happen, Joe, is the first guy's going to get his head ripped off.
Yeah.
The second guy's going to lose both arms and legs, and then he starts wailing people with a torso.
Yeah.
And the rest of the 98 people who have human brains are gonna be like, I am running away.
You don't want to be in the first 20.
No, I gotta be 99. I gotta see what happens. But yeah, it's funny because I think it's a generational thing, to be honest with you. So I was talking about this at the gym today because I get all hot and bothered by dumb shit, and I like silverback gorillas. It's a weird thing I have. So, but like the young kids are definitely like, oh, we could fucking take a gorilla. But the old hats are like, no way. So I told the owner today I was going to run a gorilla and bring it to the gym and see what happens. I don't know if I could do that. Think I got to run a gorilla? Is that a no? Or are you just waiting for an answer?
I didn't know if you were going to do some kind of mating ritual.
No, dude. You know what? It's actually, I saw the funniest video the other day. So this guy calls an exterminator, and he's like a bear trainer. So he put one of his bears in the house. And he calls like Terminex or whatever fucking exterminator. And he's like, yo, I got a critter in the house. And these guys would show up and there's a big fucking brown bear in the house. And he's like, is this something you guys do? Internet never loses, by the way. But
that's really funny.
Yeah, so it's been an interesting week. So that was my week in a nutshell. I did a little bit of growing up, a little bit of maturing. And now I'm just gonna go home and hopefully keep it in one piece while my wife goes through it a little bit. I do feel bad though.
What classes is he taking? Like,
I don't know. I'm assuming like the basics.
Skateboarding.
It's not funny, Joe.
Funny.
It's too soon. They do have a walking class for 3 credits.
Mixed drinking 101.
Dude. It's not like that anymore, Joe. Just shh. My wife is gonna listen to this later. And I am not catching heat for this one.
Chilling at the beach 101. That's got to be, I think, a fun class.
Listen, it's only like 20 minutes away from Myrtle Beach, too.
I know.
It's not like they have its own private island and a 18-hole golf course.
It's when you said Coastal Carolina, first of all, for people who are into sports, as of like 4 years ago, Coastal Carolina showed up on the map.
Yeah, they won the World Series 2016 or 17 or something.
They had a Division II program, and they upped it to Division I, and it's gone well. It went well, obviously, in baseball. It's gone well in football, and things have gone well there. But it's got a great reputation because you said it's an amazing place. I know a few people who went there.
Oh boy,
for a year.
Dude, Joe, stop the conversation. I told you. I told you my wife listens to this podcast.
But let me assure Claudia of something. Jeff's a good kid.
He is. He's the best kid.
He's gonna go to this notorious party school. And to be fair, there's others. Miami. It's another hot one. That's one of those randos when your kid's like, I'm going to Miami. And you're like, why Miami? You know why.
Well, back in the day, it was like Keene State, which is weird. But I think I still have friends who are still trying to graduate from Keene State. That place was crazy.
Think about this. If UConn wasn't a drunken party school, it would have never become the basketball mecca that it's become.
I never understood why people go to play basketball there. It's stores. Like, of all the places you could be like a D1 primo athlete, you want to go to stores. Place is a dumpster fire.
Because it was a party school. People like party schools. Party schools attract people.
I woke up in a parking spot one day there at the carriage house, and some asshole parked his truck over me, and it cracked my head open because I had no idea what was going on. I woke up, I was like, why am I under a truck?
You were sleeping in a parking lot? Just on the ground?
Yeah. I have a problem when I drink too much. I just time out.
Yeah, you do.
I time out. I fall asleep like everywhere. Everywhere.
Is that the weirdest place you've ever woken up?
No. I got kicked out of a bar in Boston. I think it was Ned Devine's. So I was with my ex-wife, my father-in-law, and some of our other family. And they have a live band. Like they're just rocking out. And I'm hammered. And like, so her father's friend, who was like 6'8", just went behind the bar, started grabbing bottles, and he's swinging me around like it looked like a silverback gorilla. Like I'm hammered, and then all of a sudden I sat on the band speaker, pulled my t-shirt over my head, and good night. Like timed out. Like so, we're at breakfast the next day, and my wife's like, "You know why we had to leave early?" And I'm like, "I don't remember leaving early." She's like, "Because you were sleeping on top of the speaker." I'm like, "I don't know if that's the worst thing that happens. I fall asleep." Like
That's pretty solid.
I did one where we had another party at her cousin's house, and apparently I fell asleep, and then I woke up, went into the woods, came back, laid down on the couch with a big ass branch, and then I woke up with a bunch of scratches on my back. I did
oh boy,
21st birthday. I had 21 shots of Jaeger in 22 minutes, and I didn't wake up for 3 days. Like I was just in my buddy's dorm, just out for 3 days, but they didn't take me to the doctor because I was breathing. And that time, I had a buddy named Fern. So when Fern was a kid, he got caught in a fire. So he didn't really have any fingers. He had these like little nubs. And so
I'm sorry, his name was Fern?
Yeah, cool kid.
Like, because he burned like a fern?
That's not funny, bro.
I'm looking for answers.
It was wild. So I woke up.
Wait, why is his name Fern?
Fernando.
Oh, okay. Never mind my thoughts.
Bro, that is awful.
This guy lit up like a fern tree. So
no.
we started calling him
It's so
Fern,
messed up, bro. So messed up.
You said he was in a fire and he's got nubby fingers
Dude.
and his name is Fern. You can see where I was going with that.
Yeah, it's wild. But like, so the legend has it that every time I would say his name, he would punch me in my face with like his nubs. So I woke up with like these pock marks like all over my like face from his nubs. But yeah, that's why I don't drink that much. I only drink here.
I honestly, when you started telling that joke, I thought at the end of this, I'm going to say, I only drink once a week, Thursday nights.
You do, dude. You're a responsible human being. But I'm just trying to be like you, Joe. This is going off the rails. Once again,
what do you mean it's going off the rails? It's going
Save
great.
us, Joe.
All right. I don't. It's funny. I had a great since I last saw you. Things have gone well. I don't have any.
No complaints.
No,
everything just skyrocketing.
Everything has gone a-okay.
Yeah. It's I think everything's going well for me. It's just been it's a learning curve.
Oh, you know what? I have a little problem. This is the worst problem I have right now. Ready? In the off, I play in that wiffle ball league. I know. Last weekend was opening day. So I've switched teams. My buddy Dan and I decided to play on a different team this year. And I wasn't sure how we even got to those circumstances, but we were moving on to a different team. And so Sunday was opening day.
Yep.
And my old team texted the two of us and was like, hey, we only have 2 guys. Can one of you help us out tonight and play on the team?
Okay.
Now, my buddy didn't seem like he wanted to do that. And I think he could only stay for one game. He had some shit to do or whatever. So I was like, I'll play with you guys. And it went well. This was terrible too. By switching teams, I went from facing 2 bad pitchers to 2 of the best pitchers in the league.
Yeah.
And I raked. 19. I was up to bat 25 times in 2 games. I got on base 19 times. That's a 755 on base percentage. So now this is the dilemma I'm in. It went so well.
You got to go back to the original team, Joe.
After the game ended, right? So my new team's like, are you good to go? Like, of course I am. And then some developments occurred. The old team has offered me the captaincy of the team. It's a big move, and there's like negotiations going on.
It's wiffle ball
to get me on their wiffle ball team. It's serious. It's serious business. There's been negotiate. That's the worst problem I have. Is Sunday I have to figure out which team I have to play on.
I'm not gonna lie. So I had a similar dilemma, but I don't play wiffle ball. So
Well, you're deprived.
I am. So as we're discussing, coastal Carolina and like what are we gonna do in life because the kid's not gonna be there, and I'm like, well, we'll have a ton of things to do, hun. And inevitably, because this is what wives do, they look at you and you're just ready for the shrapnel. And you're never home. I'm like looking around.
Oh God.
I'm home, but then I didn't tell her that I just signed up for a Thursday night golf league.
Does she listen to the whole show?
Yeah. So as she's telling me this, I'm texting my boy Will, and I'm like, "Ixnay on the golf A. I'll see you next season."
Yeah.
So that's the kind of husband I am.
All right.
See, Kelly will hang out
Bro,
with
you
her.
got some options. Yeah, Kelly said she'll hang out with her.
I know, but Kelly, you're not me.
Because that's what's going to happen.
There's only certain things that I could provide, Kelly.
I think, first of all, let me say this. I think it's adorable that your wife wants to hang out with you.
It's way better than the last one who didn't.
Well, yeah, of course. I would say the most annoying thing about my wife is that she does like to hang out a lot. Even like if there's nothing going, like, hey, you want to just hang out?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. We have a lot of, I think the thing is we have a lot of individual stuff we do, right? So we don't have a lot of like stuff we do together, I guess. But we're going to have a ton of time now.
You're going to be in one of those fucking painting classes on Thursday night.
Dude, I did one of those.
How'd that go?
That was with my ex-wife again, by the way, so it didn't go well. That was one of those like last ditch efforts to make it work, and I'm like, this is where you take me. Like, I don't want to paint a fucking mouse. It was atrocious.
That was the last ditch effort. Like, we need to do stuff together. Let's go to this painting thing.
Yeah, I don't paint like my sister does, but like I had no interest in being there, and like I couldn't even fake it. And I'm gonna say it's just bad.
How do you think she took that you couldn't fake it and you didn't want to be there?
I don't really think she gave a shit. She was probably seeing the other guy by then anyway. I get home and I'm like, that's not my painting.
At least you got the paint.
I was like, who painted that? My name is not Jay. Oh, dude, that's bad, dude. I gotta stop. I'll get on a roll.
You're fired up.
I'm fired up today.
Why are you so fired up?
That was impressive. That was fucking gross,
like
dude.
Mr. Miyagi over here.
Nah, I'm not fired up, dude. I'm in a good mood, you know?
I gotta tell you something. Somebody hit me up and asked, how come I never told the story of the greatest night of my life?
That's true. Go ahead. Tell it.
I don't remember what the story was going to be. I don't even remember the context of what I was saying or what we were talking about that led me to say,
yeah,
I'll tell you the story of the greatest night, because I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, good, because I didn't want to hear it. Anyways,
it was epic. I'll tell you that.
Really didn't want to hear it. What else is going on, Joe? Let's see. What am I? I don't got much else going on. I think the college thing was like a huge weight.
Yeah, clearly.
Like it's really still like I almost feel relieved. It's like he made a decision. Get to go hang out, get some sunshine. But yeah, it was very.
And then next year he'll go to Quinnipiac.
He won't be able to get into Quinnipiac after going to Coastal, dude. That was the whole point of the conversation with him. I thought it got through to him, but he definitely beats to his own drum. He's gonna be fine. Like I told my wife, it's not like he's going to med school or gonna be an engineer.
It's interesting that he wants to go so far away. Why do you think that is?
He probably hates his stepdad. No, he definitely likes the pace of the South. I think like it's just a slower pace. I mean, overall, I think people are much more friendly than they are up here. And I was a big proponent of him going away. Like, so it wasn't the fact that he was going away was the issue. I just think he was underselling himself because he's a very smart kid. Like, he should be the dean of that university starting in August. Like, and I'm not even like trying to be funny. Like, it's like I went down there. I talked to this academic lady who ran the department. She didn't even know if they had his major or they were accredited. Like, that is your number one job, lady.
What is he majoring in?
So he's gonna do health and science. If he gets his master's, be athletic training. But then I talked to him about it. He's like, I want to do maybe a minor in business. They do have one of the top business schools in the world, which is odd. But like in the world, like it's a really good.
I don't think that's odd.
And
you got to learn how to golf and drink.
You got to manage your time.
If you're going to be a successful businessman, you got to know how to drink whiskey.
Well, they do have a PGA major too. So you could go major in like golf and be like a PGA pro. So that's not bad. But I was happy he was going away. Like my wife will be mad at me when she hears that. But I was
he's got to go find himself, and he's not going to do it living in your house.
Well, I think like for him, like he said, he didn't want to go to New Haven. He wasn't like, he's not that type of kid. So whatever, he made his decision, and it's just going to be an adjustment. And I do feel bad for my wife because they're super close, but it's an Avello flight away, dude. Get a little condo, little golfing, little sunshine. Should be good. I just gotta ride it out. My problem is I talk too much, Joe, which I know you find you can't even believe it. But like I try to solve the problem and I can't with this one, which is infuriating me.
What's the problem to solve?
Well, I just don't want my wife being upset all the time, and I can't figure it out.
You're gonna have to do those paint classes on Thursday night.
She ain't doing that with me. There's zero shot.
You're
she
do
goes
that by yourself.
I am, dude. I'm gonna have to pick up a hobby, bro. And then she's going back to school, so she's gonna be in school. What am I doing?
Everyone's going back to school but you.
I mean, you don't want me being any smarter than I already am, Joe. I'm dangerous. 3.5 more years, I might be in the White House.
Imagine the things you could do.
What do you mean?
I mean, with all this free time, maybe you should take a class.
No, I think I am. I think get into some dog training, maybe do some more podcast work.
That's good. He'll have more time, is my point. This is good that he's going away.
Yeah, but you know what? We got a lot of time now because he's 18. He doesn't really. I mean, he hangs around the house a lot, but like, I miss those days where I had to drive him around everywhere because that's the only time I got to talk to him. Like, I miss that part. Like, you hate it when you're doing it, right? Like, you're like, oh my God, I got to drive here. I got to drive there. We got to fly here. Like, I don't have time for myself. But then when you have time for yourself, you're like, hey, do you need to ride somewhere? He's like, bro, I'm 18 and I have a car. I'm like, okay. He's like, I'm going to DQ with my friends. And I'm like, can I go? No. So that part of it sucks, dude. I tell parents, I'm like, you got young kids, enjoy it. Because you're going to be miserable when they're just like, I'm out. Where are you going? I don't know.
I got to ask you this.
Uh-huh.
So he's like, I'm going to DQ with my friends.
Yeah.
You're like, can I go? Because my kids have never been like, hey, we're going out. I'm like, hey, can I go with you guys?
Yeah, because I still feel I'm cool, Joe.
No, I know.
I still feel I'm cool.
I think that was already implied.
Yeah.
I guess the question is why?
Because I'm a man child. Like I do. Like I like hanging out with his friends, dude. Like I like getting dapped up by the boys when I see him at the baseball game.
What kind of ice cream would you have gotten?
I can't have ice cream. I'm lactose intolerant.
We just wanted to go for the ride.
Like yeah. Like the greatest. I was telling someone at the gym today, like, the greatest feeling is just you get these young kids just dap me up while all the other dads are mad jealous because no one's talking to them. Or you walk into a basketball game and everyone yells "Jigga Daddy." That's like the highlight of my life, dude.
If a year from now you tell me you're still going to shit and they're still yelling "Jigga Daddy," we're gonna have to talk about it.
Yeah, dude. I was just talking. So like I always tell you, I got a weird group of friends. I got like the dad friends that are like 50 and like fanny packs, and then I got like my jabroni friends that have babies, right? And so my friend Sapola, his son plays football. He's got one more year, and I'm like, but every Friday we were at the Rail football game, right? And I'm like, what am I gonna do on Friday? I was like, is it weird? Because I still know some of the players. I think we had this discussion last time. Yeah. It's not a baseball game; it's a football game.
Football games are fine.
All right.
Listen, even the drunken clown of town can go to a high school football game. That's okay. It is totally permissible. Okay.
but not baseball.
Baseball's
No,
where
you're weird.
If your kid's not on the team and you're at a baseball game, your name's probably on a list somewhere anyway. So they already know who you are, you know?
It's gonna be an adjustment.
Of course it's gonna be an adjustment. You know what it's like every time one of my kids moves out of here? Every time one of my kids kind of moves on into the
Yeah, but you got more, Joe.
Yeah, well,
we don't have any more, dude.
It's this. You got to it's the same pain over and over.
Maybe I'll go adopt a kid. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Oh my God, your wife would kill you.
No, I think she'd like it, dude.
You just come home with like a kid. You're like, hey, look what I got.
Yeah, but it's got to be like 12.
I was gonna say like 9. I'll tell you why. That gives you 7 solid, maybe 8, 10 years even. And it's just the good stuff.
Yeah, but I gotta do a thorough like deep dive on the parents.
Oh yeah, I mean, no doubt, a background check.
I'm not dealing with some other one's problems. I'm not a problem solver. Kelly's gonna share Jess. No, I need Kylie. Oh, wow, that sounded bad. Yeah, that sounded fucking real bad.
See when you're
Pause, Cap.
Yeah.
Well, this podcast is just, we could have skipped this week all together. What is that random?
That is from Twitch. I think because you were talking about Kylie, I think the
I got reported.
The like porn alert went off. It was like, oh, this must be one of those kind of podcasts.
But like, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna go enjoy life. Work's gonna keep me busy, so
I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be awesome, and I'm gonna enjoy every minute of it. Well, I hope you work your way through that. That sounds fucking terrible. Oh my God.
Give me a lot of golf trips.
I'm gonna have to play golf to fill the void.
Yeah, but like it's like
my own late night runs to Dairy Queen.
Yeah, but it's like not having like my best friend around. And I don't want to hear my wife's my best friend because I don't believe in that, by the way. I don't think your wife's your best friend.
Wait, is Jess your best friend?
I like to think so.
Oh, God, that's even creepier. What is going on? That poor kid. I'm surprised.
It's a lot of pressure. That's probably why he's leaving.
I'm surprised he didn't go to like University of Alaska or Hawaii or some shit.
I'm thinking about opening a bar down there. My buddy, me and Joe, just open a bar down the street from campus and not tell him. And he just shows up. His mom's bartending and we're just there.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's going to be a little crazy. So they have orientation in July. Like only one parent could go, right? So of course I can't go.
Do you know why they have that rule?
Why?
Because all the parents want to go. They know what's
up.
But
I don't understand why only one parent.
Do you know what kind of chaos it would be if 2 parents were drunk on orientation weekend?
Yeah, but I asked my wife this. Her name's Claudia, so I could say Claudia. Like since I'm technically not a parent, why can't I go?
Oh, they got you on a technicality? Is that?
Yeah, like I think I could go. Like, who is he? It's just.
I mean, what if you just went and you just hung out?
I think I could pass as a student. What do you think?
Yeah, I've seen Van Wilder. That's.
What does my mom want?
She wants to go to Coastal Carolina.
My mom doesn't leave Bristol.
Why not?
Like we go to like the Radisson and Hitley compounds.
Hey, Vincent. You can take your mama on vacation. Fun. I don't know what that face is, but when your mom is terrible with punctuation.
My mom just throws it out there like salt, like spices.
Yeah, Phyllis, you just kind of sprinkle the commas in there, huh?
It's so bad.
I like that. Just every few words you throw a comma in there, you're probably going to be right eventually. That's the right way to do it.
Yeah, it's my
Good
mom,
on you.
Dude.
I love it.
I can't believe she's up right now. I mean, it's 7:41. It's popping in that little apartment behind Eblin's. That's what happens when your mom beats you as a kid. You get stuck behind Eblin's on Route 6 in Bristol. Okay, Mom. Enough comments from you.
South Carolina.
Yeah, my Aunt Rocky lives down there.
Oh, no kidding.
Dude, she lives in one of those like retirement communities that has like a movie theater, like 2 in-ground pools, outdoor bars. Yeah, like a grocery store, like it's just like herpes flying around.
Oh
like
my God, Vin! I swear to God, I was just gonna say, and those places also generally have high STD rates.
Dude, it's like an 80-year-old grandma with gonorrhea, bro. It's bad. It is wild down there because they just don't think that it applies to them, but they are wrong.
By the way, your mom said she did not beat you enough.
I'm gonna debate that one, dude.
We gotta have Phyllis on the show.
My mom doesn't leave Bristol.
I can pack this all up and we can go to Bristol.
I'll tell you a story about my mom. So, first time she met Claudia, we're on our way. And the cool thing about my mom is she's never really asked me for much, ever. Like, never asked me for a dime, nothing. So we get there, and I tell Claudia all this on my way there. And then so we sit down, and it's 45 seconds in. My mom's like, hey, I got to ask you for something. I'm like, oh, Mom needs some groceries, maybe a Visa gift card. She's like, I need a car. I'm like, you need a what? So a couple weeks later, I surprised her with a little Subaru. Right? At least they're a little Subaru. She doesn't need much. And 3 years later, we got to turn in the lease. She got like 5,000 miles on it.
Wow.
And my mom gets oil changes. And I'm like, why? So she got a new Subaru. And she's probably got 100 miles on it. She just drives around the parking lot.
Funny, she said you could pick her up to go on the vacation.
Nah. I don't go to Bristol. It's dangerous over there.
Wouldn't be caught dead there. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I don't like going there. Like, my mom lives in a place that's like, God's waiting room.
Yeah, over by the Eblins. Now that everyone knows where your mom
lives. Yeah, it's just good. Like, I'm like, stop introducing me to people because they're not going to be here next week. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Your mom, by the way, says 1,500 miles.
Yeah, it's been like.
By the way, I love that. Good man. That's where the comma actually goes. After good man, then Vincent, and then you do the 1,500. That was very good.
Yeah. So my mom, I do love my mom though, but she whips around in her dog. She dresses her dog up, and then she actually came out to my house. She met my dog for the first time.
How'd that go? They like each other?
So I tell my mom not to pet the fucking dog. And all night I have to watch my mom because it's like watching a child just staring at my dog. And I see my mom just lightly petting my dog every once in a while. I'm like, could you not pet my dog? And my mom loves dogs. And I'm like, could you not pet my dog? So I think I was taking a piss or something. And I hear my dog going buck wild because my mom comes out of my bedroom with a cane. My dog never saw a cane. My mom's out here harassing my dog with a cane. But it's like watching a child. Like, she's just like putting her hand down. I'm like, hey, Mom, can you not pet my dog? All night, all fucking night long. Like, I had a toddler.
Why can't she pet the dog?
I don't want people petting my dog, dude. It's not safe. I don't have like a pet friendly dog. Like, he's not someone you should pet unless he knows you. He might remove some digits. He has a kind of a bite history. Like a high count. Like 6, 8.
And as an attorney and a man very familiar with the law and liability and stuff, you think that's you were making fun of me because the light to the hallway coming down into the studio doesn't work. I just wonder if the dog will eat mama. That's not good. You don't want that. You don't want a dog that's
but he's fine. Like, you just got to obey my rules, and you could have 20 people in my house. Just follow my rules.
What are the rules? What would the rules be?
Don't pet my dog.
Don't pet the dog. Okay.
Don't make eye contact.
No. Okay. Time out.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand that when you invite people to your home, and you have a dog, and your dog gets out walking around, people are going to want to pet him?
Then don't come to my house.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but like, as a responsible dog owner, you got to set the rules.
You know how like people are always like, don't pet service dogs.
Yeah,
and then
they
it's like
inevitably
the dog just goes up to people, and it's like, oh, I'm not gonna pet this dog because he's working, and then he like starts rubbing his head on your leg, and you're like, oh, hey, buddy.
that fucking pisses me off.
No, but again, I don't. If you have a dog
Mm-hmm.
and your dog approaches somebody and it seems friendly, they're gonna want to pet it.
Yeah, but everyone knows. Like, I will say, everyone who comes over my house is very respectful. He has a "don't pet me" vest, and once you're in the house, he gets to know you. He's fine. He'll sit on your lap, and then you could go wild. But it's just the rules, dude.
Well, Mama says, "Mother like son,
Comma.
rules get broken." And by the way, well done. That's exactly where the comma was supposed to be.
Card time. I don't like where this is going. I get mad about my dog, bro.
What's one experience that changed your life? I guess I'll go first.
That'd be nice. Change of pace.
I don't know if I've told you this story.
I can't wait to hear it, though.
When I was in the 2nd grade, I was going off to recess. We were going outside to play.
I thought you were going to say rehab.
Going to rehab. So I'm off to recess. I'm 8 or 9 years old. And as I'm walking outside, there was one of the 6th grade girls. They had to watch us for whatever reason. That was their job, was to watch the little kids.
Mm-hmm.
And this woman, Veronica, she was in the 6th grade. I say woman. And I walked past her, and I slapped that ass. And Veronica turned around and slapped the taste out of my mouth. Like my head spun in a swivel, like around my, I mean, it was, and she said to me, "Do not ever touch a woman without asking her permission first." And I've got to tell you,
you haven't done it since?
Changed my life. Yes.
Wow. I have no story like that. 0 stories. I don't know if I can just pick one.
You don't, it doesn't have to, just, they're saying what's one experience that changed your life. There could be others. I could have also told the story where I puked out the window and it went through a fan and it landed on somebody and I got thrown out of school. That's a good that was a life lesson, no doubt.
I got,
so you got anything between those two?
All right. So I got one kind of along the lines of the school thing. Don't spray fart spray into the vents. I'm sure my mom remembered that phone call, but it was pretty funny.
Oh, let's hear the story. What happened?
It's self-explanatory. I had fart spray, sprayed it into the vents of the school, and kind of stank.
I gotta ask you, how did you get caught?
Narcs, bunch of fucking snitches.
Did somebody see you do it, or was it you shared your plan?
Oh, I told everybody, dude. I'm an asshole. I was an idiot. You know what? I do have a good one now that I think about kind of the fart story.
Yeah.
I remember when I figured out I had to start wearing deodorant. So I think it might have been, it had to be like 8th grade because I was on the boulevard. And there was this kid, Tommy Mulhern. We used to call him Tommy Salami. Because, yeah, this is horrible, but yeah, he was an easy target back then. My mom will remember Tommy Salami. And everyone was pretty mean to the kid. And I just remember one day I just smelled awful. I'm like, why do I smell like a skunk? Like, I couldn't figure it out. So I just hung out with Tommy Salami all day and blamed him.
Oh, poor Tommy. He's still got a complex about it.
I do remember because I was attached at that weirdo's hip.
He's like, is that me?
Yo, when he was giving me dirty looks, I never felt so bad about myself ever. Tommy Salami. I wonder what he's doing. And I think like the obvious one would probably yes, of course my mom remembers Tommy. I think and then the obvious one is having a kid around, because that's definitely a game changer for me, especially for someone who never I don't think it's weird because now that I think about it, I never thought about being a dad. I never was like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna be a dad someday. I talked to Jess and he's like, yeah, dude, when I have a family. That never fucking crossed my mind ever. And I came from a big family on both sides. but it definitely changed my whys and like why I do shit and that sort of thing. So that was probably like the most pivotal moment for me, just because your purposes are different, your whys are different. But it was weird because like now that I'm thinking about it, like I never thought about having a kid. Like never said, oh, I'm gonna be a dad someday. It's never came out of my mouth. So I think that changed. But so those are my three: fart spray, Tommy salami, and having a kid around. There you go. Look at my mom. Yes,
Your mom says you were the shit. Oh no. She says
I
you
was
were
a
a
shit.
shit.
I was a shithead.
Yeah.
I
Well,
remember
that's
one time.
good.
I'll tell you a funny story about my mom. My mom was a little pistol back in the day. So there was this fucking kid, Tommy Flores, redheaded fucking kid, like just a giant redheaded kid, and we'd fight all the time. Like I like to his credit, it was at least twice a week I was beating this kid's ass. Like, and I remember I was on recess. I was in elementary school, and I saw my mom come out to the out of nowhere. I don't even know how she got to the school. No, she's just on the playground and pins him up against like the basketball pole. I was like, my son's gonna kill you the next time you hit him. And then my mom got called to the principal's office.
Nice.
But thank God she was like my principal's housekeeper, so I had an in. Yep, that was my mom. She was wild. Oh, there was one time we had this fat kid, Aaron Hackenberg, who lived down the street from me, and he wanted to fight me, so I came in the house. My mom made me go back outside.
Good on you, fellas. Make me go out
and
there.
she marches down Sigourney Street, and she's like, "Hey, you fat fuck!" She made us fight.
Who won?
I win. I'm not losing and coming back home to my mom.
Yeah.
That's fucking embarrassing, dude.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Oh, this is an interesting question because generally you would get this in the reverse. What advice would you give your older self?
Ooh.
Usually they ask, what would you tell your younger self? And you're like, oh, I want to stop and smell the roses. What would you tell your older self?
Ooh, you go first. I got to think about that one.
Here's what I would tell my older self. Keep the pace. It's going well.
Ooh. I like that. So I'll get to my answer, but now you say keep the pace. That's one thing I've been working on is controlling the pace of my life. I think because like you, we communicate all day, right? Like that's our bread and butter. And I've been reading some books on communication and stuff, but like I think for me, it's just really controlling the pace of the conversations and controlling the pace of what I'm doing. And at first, I would just focus on controlling the pace of the conversation, whether it's with a client through testimony, whatever, but really trying to control the pace of my life. And I think that's really helped because you dictate how your day is going. So it's funny you said that because that's really something I've been focusing on. Is controlling my pace. What advice would I give my older self? Probably to remember like my perspective of things, right? Like not like I don't want to be that guy who's like 80 and just looks back at my life and it's just regretting it, right? Like if something bad happened or good happened or whatever, like it was a learning like experience. So I think I want to be able to have a great perspective when I'm older, but I know I'm going to live forever.
To piggyback off to your point, then I also want to make sure that I'm not one of those old people who's like, back in our day,
oh, dude, like
you had to do. When it's like, who fucking cares what you had to do?
But
technology's advanced 80 years, dude. Jesus Christ, what do you want us to go? You want us to go to work on a horse and buggy?
Well, I think that going back to the whole college thing, I think that was one of the things I struggled with. It was like, well, this is how I did it. So, right. So like,
yeah.
And
we like to push ourselves onto other people.
Yeah. And not realize like the way kids learn, the way the kids communicate, the way the, kids see the world on is much different. So like not saying, hey, what I did was right. So you need to do it because it's going to be right for you. I think that was like kind of prohibiting me from having the conversations I need to have with him to maybe be a little bit more supportive in where he was leaning at the time, because I was just like, well, this is how I did it. Like, this is what I had to do to go do what I do now. But yeah, like 100%, dude, because you get that every day. You like every adult's like, well, these kids are, this is how it should be done. Well, it's not gonna be done like we did it because society is moving forward, right? Like, imagine if we're still stuck doing the same shit now we were doing in the 80s. Like, that shit would make no sense, right? Like, everyone would have AIDS and be a huge crack habit.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, and God bless Donald Trump because we are moving forward.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say that. God bless Trump.
Yo, did you see it?
And his whole Trump family. I think that's.
Did you see today? Like, not to get back on Trump. So he had an interview, and two parts of the interview were hilarious. One was with the Declaration of Independence.
Oh my God, yes, it means
unity
and love.
Which is the polar opposite of what it's actually called, right? And like the reporter's face was priceless.
Oh my God, yes, his face was amazing.
And then they were talking about that like gang member, and he's like, he had like MS-13 tattoo on his fingers, right? And the guy's like, well, that's what they think it was. And he's like, no, it was actually on his fingers. And they're like, no, sir, it was Photoshop because someone said that's what it spelled out. And I don't want to go down this train again, but it's such a good laugh, bro. Like, it's such a good time.
Mr. President, what does the Declaration of Independence mean to you?
Yo,
does he know that that's basically like a divorce between countries? I'm leaving you for a younger woman. He's been there a bunch of times. He should know that.
What this means is that we're united.
To be fair, maybe he meant united in wanting to leave. But then you have to assume that he knows the story there. Remember, this is the same guy who thinks we won that war because we took the airports. Do you remember that?
Yes.
We took the airports.
Yes.
And the ramparts.
I can't. My favorite was the latest one, and then we'll move on to something else, was, Putin still bombing Ukraine. So his big political move was to get on Twitter. I was like, please stop, Putin. Please stop. Like, that's where we're at with the president, by the way. Like, that's where we're at. So anyways, we're going to move on from that. Ooh, this is a good one. What was your biggest struggle this past year? Joe ain't going to have a struggle because his life is struggle free.
What was my biggest struggle this year? Gosh, I guess losing those last 5 pounds. That was.
You are looking kind of slim.
Thank you. Yeah, I know.
You were looking in the camera waiting for the compliment. So I've been holding off for, what do we got? 52 minutes. We've already been talking.
It feels like we're 15 minutes in. It really does. And
it took me 52 minutes to say, because I know you kept leaning into the camera a little bit. You got a little glow to your face. And yeah.
All right, no, but for reals, my biggest struggle this year, you know what it honestly was? I've talked a lot about this boss that I have, right? I work for this guy. And here's the funny thing, right? The radio station that I work at has been my favorite radio station literally my entire life. Like, I listen to that station like 99% of the time if I'm listening to the radio.
Yep.
And that's even before I started working there. When I worked at a different radio station, that was still always my go-to. And I never wanted to work there because the guy that owned it, as far as I could tell, was a fucking idiot. And I heard nothing but bad things. He also fired my daughter a couple of years ago. No, yeah, right? So
how did you handle that?
Well, at our very first meeting, I was like, hey, I don't know if you remember, you fired my daughter last year. I brought it right up in the meeting because that's me. That's what I do.
What did he say?
Oh, he felt really bad. And he was like, she's a good kid. And I go, you know what? She was, they put her on a hip hop station. And you know my daughter. You know Eden. Eden's not a hip hop.
Yeah.
Eden is very good with
everything.
all of this.
Yeah.
but pretending to be cool is something even Eden couldn't fake her way through.
Yeah, she's a very transparent. Like this is if she had like a dick and balls, excuse my language, she'd just slap it on the table.
Yeah.
That's
oh, Phyllis, come on, stop. Go on. Anyway, yeah. So no, my biggest struggle, honestly, it has been number one, and I'm starting to really like the guy. I'm really starting to like my boss, which is odd because
that shows growth, Joe. I'm proud of you.
Well, I think that's I was going to say kind of part of what it is I've had to learn how to coexist. I've had to learn how to get along well with this guy. And all while, again, I mean, I hadn't really been doing radio in a really long time. I'd sort of moved off of that.
Yep.
And so it was the idea of kind of getting back into it and then doing it on my favorite radio station and knowing that the way I've done it before doesn't really fit.
Yep.
This is a different kind of radio station. And so I've had all that kind of going on, dealing with this guy and I guess on the bright side, the thing I've been struggling with is sort of I've sort of figured it out.
Yep.
I don't freak out about shit. My last meeting with my boss, I don't know if I told you, like we had just a pleasant conversation.
Yeah.
A nice back and forth. Great. So yeah, I worked through this because and for anybody who's been watching this podcast or listening to it since it started a year ago.
Yep.
You'll hear that's been a frequent thing of mine, and I've had a lot of issues with this guy. And there were times where I'm like, I'm fucking gonna quit. I own my own company. What do I need that shit for? But I'll tell you what, as I've stepped back from doing my own media stuff, my stress level is down.
Yeah.
I don't have any real stress. Which for a guy who had a heart attack a couple years back, 3 years ago in 2022, the biggest struggle I had at that time was trying to run a company. Because it's hard, and it gave me a heart attack. And so everything's worked out.
I like that. I think that was our first time ever doing a deep dive into your feelings, and that was good, to be honest, for once. It was on some stupid fucking story about puking out of a window. But thanks for pointing your heart out.
Pop.
Oh my God. I got to tell you this story, then I'll tell you mine because it's pouring the heart out. And so I have this client. This was like a year ago. He comes in, he's crying. His girlfriend broke up with him. He threatens to commit suicide, bangs on the bathroom door, and runs away. Just had a bad night. So
yeah, it is.
I knew the consultation. I don't think anything of it. Dude's kind of annoying the shit out of me, but I understand he's a little bit on the emotional scale higher than I am. So he calls me, and this guy, like, I thought hated me, right? So I don't even know why he called me, because he comes into some other legal issues. And he's just being an asshole on the phone. And I'm like, go hire somebody else, bro. I'm good. So click. This guy calls me back. He's like, I just got to tell you something. It crushed me. And I'm like, here we go. He's like, that first consultation, when I was crying in your office, and he's like, and I asked you, have you ever gone through something like this personally? And you smirked at me and said, no. It devastated me. I'm like, I didn't know what you expected me to say, sir, but I've been broken up with a few times. I've never pretended to commit suicide, then break down someone's bathroom door, because I got a handle on shit. So yes, I may have smirked and said no. And I'm sorry that crushed you. But if that's what's crushing you in life, you got some deeper...
I love that.
But, like, I'm not going to cry with you. Like, I do feel bad for some of my clients.
You ever been in a situation like this before?
No.
Where you're acting like a giant bitch? No, not at all.
Like, dude, I had a guy...
I handle my shit.
Like, the guy today, like, we get a dismissal on this case. If this victim shows up, he's doing 8 years. It's not even like there's no magical trick I'm pulling out of these baby blues aren't going to work that good. and I'm good at my job. And so I get him a suspended. He was facing a 10-year felony on an assault second, and he already had a rap sheet a mile long. I get him a plea deal to an assault third, conditional discharge, suspended sentence, which is like one step up from like jaywalking. He's like, I got to stand on my business. I'm like, what'd you say? I'm standing on my business. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I couldn't help but laugh. I'm like, all right, buddy. So what I need you to do today, we're going to pick a jury. I'm going to have 50 jurors in this goddamn room. You got to look presentable because you look crazy every time you come to court, right? Like, you know what he shows up in? He looks like he walked straight out of a fucking Diddy party. All white. White shirt, white pants, white sneakers, gold teeth.
And the glimmer of baby oil everywhere.
And he's like, hand on the crotch, chewing his nails while I'm trying to talk to these people about how my client didn't do this shit so he could stand on his business. And then so he hugs me when I get the case dismissed. And I just felt like a real winner. Like I did justice today.
By the way, I just saw your video, your MPF law video, where you talked about the relationships. And I got to tell you, that was my. I mean, those clips are great.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't follow Vinny on social media, make sure you do. Jigga Daddy, is it?
You got Jigga Daddy, you got Change of Plans, you got.
But he did a really cool video about his law firm, and he talked about the idea of like they're a general practicing law firm, so he can do divorces, criminal stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty much run the gamut, family stuff, divorce, that kind of stuff. And I love this because you know when like you're a kid and you're like, my dad's gonna call his lawyer, otherwise I kick your ass. Everybody should have a lawyer.
Yeah.
You should have a lawyer handy that you know. And this guy's amazing.
I appreciate that.
I'm serious, and you're really good at what you do. And again, somebody who, because a lot of lawyers specialize in one thing. And so he could, no matter what shit you got going on in your life,
I'll make it work out.
That's the guy that you need to call, the fixer.
Yeah.
Okay? But I love the idea of, I thought that was super cool. Again, the idea of like, I don't want to just help you with a divorce. I want to help you with your divorce. And then when you get remarried in 3 years, I want to do your real estate closing.
Well, and
if your kid gets busted doing some dumb shit, you're gonna call me up, and I'm gonna meet you at the police station. I'm gonna bail your kid out with you, and I'm gonna make all your problems go away. But I'm telling you, that really struck a nerve with me, and I thought, you know what, like,
well, it's because I
love that.
Because the way I think about it is, it's not a service. I'm in the business of people. Right. And I really try to focus on, yes, I need to make money. I got staff. Everyone needs money, but I'm in the business of people. And if I want to be the hub for everybody, it's kind of why I started the Change of Plans and this kind of life coaching idea, because people come in a divorce, I get them through the worst part of their life and then they walk out. Right.
Yeah. You're like, hey, good luck.
Good luck. Right. But I also think like if you could specialize in one thing, like my friend Kelly, who's on here, she just does family and she's fantastic at it. I think the way I built my general practice, I didn't have a choice. My boss died in 2010. I didn't have a job, I had no money, and I just had to go learn. So I was taking everything on the fly. But I learned that, not a lot of people could do what I do. Not a lot of people could be in a divorce case, handling a criminal trial, doing a closing, doing the personal injury stuff. And you're not only dealing with different legal topics, but different personalities and things like that. To your point about the stress and that sort of stuff, that's probably been my struggle this year. I remember like during the pandemic, not that you ever want a pandemic, but for me, it was a game changer because I was able to slow my pace. But I feel myself kind of ramping up again where I'm going 100 miles an hour. So trying to find that balance of, hey, I can't get my time back. But then that goes back to having a kid around where it kind of forces you when you get home to switch your pace up a little bit, right? Like I got baseball at 3:30. I'm not missing a baseball game, like things like that. But I think from a general practice perspective, if you could just do one thing, like my two partners just do real estate closings and they do really well. But I like being able to help anybody at any time. It's just trying not to stretch yourself too thin, I guess. And that's always a balance. I think I'm getting better at saying no to certain things. But I probably hit my groove as an attorney. I've been doing it for 19 years. It's probably taken me 14 to kind of get my groove on what I'm doing. What did my mom say?
Everybody was commenting on who their attorney is, and everyone was saying it's you.
Yeah, I do. Like, I will say, it's funny because you know what? I had this conversation with an attorney the other day that they're not Facebook friends with their clients or that sort of thing. And I'm not Facebook friends with all of my clients, but I do like to say that I try not to cross the line between professional and personal, but I tend to blend it in. Because I'm blessed in a position where I only work with people I like. Right. Like, so I used to do a ton of real estate, but I don't do as much because I'm only going to work with people I like. And it's the same thing for the most part in all my areas of practice. Of course, we have those clients that, I'm not going to pick and choose all the time, but I'm lucky. Like, my clients are really good. 98% of my clients are really good people or end up being my friends, or at least we're friendly with. But it's kind of how I run my practice. I'm never going to go off law, but kind of like where I'm at right now. But that struggle for me is trying to get my balance back a little bit. And then obviously the whole, kid moving out. I think that's been a game changer for me. Because you kind of take it for granted that this is always going to be going on. But that's that. But like, it's all first world struggles. Like I think if we ask people to step in our shoes, they'll gladly take our problems. Oh, dude, I don't even know how we didn't even get on this. I hit a dude on a bike.
We are an hour and 7 minutes into this podcast.
Well, I was thinking about a struggle, and I'm like, this guy
just remembered you hit somebody on a bike.
Yeah. Well, I didn't. He ran into my car. So if they use this later on. Yeah. So
yeah, you did tell me he ran into you and that you didn't run into him.
Yeah, that's what happened.
I think I saw a video.
So I got to tell you this story. It was a bit wild, right? So I told you about this divorce case I was dealing with last week, scheduled for 3 days of trial, right? So come in. So we're supposed to start trial. This asshole from Fairfield comes up with like an army attorney. This little fucking turd, right? I cannot stand this person. So asshole comes up to court. And so we're sitting there with the judge and we try to pre-try the case, right? So this is when you're trying to get stuff done. What are you doing, Joe?
Just keep talking.
This guy's checking his lines for whatever.
No, I'm gonna put something up later. Just keep talking. You just look pretty and talk. And let me do the tech stuff.
So, anyways, we pre-try this case. We get an agreement. This case has been pending for 3 years. It's a divorce case. One of the nastiest cases I've been a part of. So I called my office. I got my intern Monty with me, and I'm like, call my office. I'm like, yo, we're going out to lunch and celebrating, right? It's a good day. So we get in the car. I'm going down this back street. It's like homeless guy on a bike. It's coming up the wrong way. I didn't hit him, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, but this guy must have a death wish. It's exactly what I said. It's like, this guy's acting crazy. So I take a right. I'm at the stoplight. Supreme Court's on my right? So it's a 2-lane road. Car on my right, car on my left, and I'm in the left, and we're going straight onto the on-ramp on 84. Homeboy must have fucking really wanted to get to the hospital today. So he swings around the block, right? Light turns green. I go. I'm getting on the on-ramp. I'm probably like, my car's already on the on-ramp. And out of the corner of my eye, this guy dodges the first car. Yeah, he went 1 for 2. Right. So my poor intern is just like, eyes are popping out of her poor head.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's like, and I'm on the phone with an attorney's office, like trying to leave a voicemail. I'm like, shit, I hit somebody and hang up the phone.
Oh my God.
So this guy goes flying. I get out of the car and this is how jaded I am. And now everyone's not going to be my friend anymore. But I'm like, damn, I'm going to be late for lunch. This is my first thought.
I like lunch.
Well, here's my problem. Because if it was my fault, then I'd feel bad.
Well, right.
But I was super lucky. It was also kind of embarrassing because like 2 attorneys that were at the GA, like just happened to watch it. So they pull over on the side of the road and they're like, oh my God. They're like, oh, it's Vin. Of course it's Vin. Right. So a bunch of people are there that like, yo, this is what happened. Like there's cameras everywhere. I clearly like I had the green light. Like I didn't do anything wrong. So it's not that I didn't feel bad. Like, but like you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes.
You felt the inconvenience to be honest.
I did, but I did get a selfie with the cop dog. And but then here's a frustrating part, right? So I get the lunch, I eat my lunch. It's kind of a wild story. Hopefully the guy's okay. He went to the hospital, but I think it was just some lacerations to the head. He'll be all right. I gave him a gym towel. And I didn't get my towel back. I really like that towel too. I'm going to hell.
If you're watching, we need that towel back.
So my wife like calls me and she's like, are you all right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And she's like, well, maybe, you got a lot of things going on. And then I just get infuriated. I'm like, it wasn't my fault. I was getting on an on-ramp. Like she made it like I did something wrong, which just infuriated me. Because like
I totally relate to that. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like if it was my fault, I would feel horrible. But
if that happened to me like 3 months from now, my wife would be like, you remember when you hit that guy? And it's like, well, the guy ran into me, but no, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. And that would get me. I hate when people, you know what it is? I hate when people bring something up, but it's like not how it really went. That you want to see me go from 0 to 60. Pull that shit on me.
Well, and then it's like, well, don't tell anyone at the game because I'm dealing with a lot. I'm like, I'm the one who hit someone, but of course I want to tell people. Right. So I did a good thing,
it's
right?
Hilarious.
So like I don't tell anyone at the game, and I'm really biting my tongue because I'm like, yo, how many people have hit a dude, right? So the next night's pasta night for the baseball team. So we're sitting with the parents, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna full fucking send. You guys aren't gonna believe this shit. And my wife's like, I didn't. I told you. I'm like, you said yesterday, and I kept it to myself. But I'm telling everybody today.
I tell people that.
Well, now I'm an absolute legend because I flipped a golf cart last year at the kids' fundraiser in front of all the parents.
How did you do
that? I was driving too fast. Saw my golf ball. I took a left.
Were you?
No, I wasn't. That's the worst part. I was completely sober. I was at like the third hole. So the worst part is I'm with this guy who I do some mortgage business with, right? I'm trying to get some business. And so the whole time we're out there, he's like, dude, slow down. You're going to flip the cart. I'm like, shut up, dude.
Yeah.
Stop being soft. I'm not going to flip a cart. I'm like Vin Diesel in this shit. And all of a sudden I see this guy going over my right shoulder.
That's what I thought.
What do you say?
Nothing.
Yeah. And so he's like, I literally see him Supermaning over my right shoulder. And I'm like, oh, no. Roof blows off the cart, whole frame bent, my leg's bleeding. And he gets up, he's like, it's okay, man. I know how to fall. And I'm like, yo, that's some old man shit right there.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So we get back in the cart. And like Jess and my buddy Joe's behind me. And Jess is videotaping the whole thing. They're just fucking dying laughing. We're like pushing the cart up on the grass. It's shaking. I'm still trying to play. The ranger comes over, starts screaming at me.
Yeah, they hate that.
$3,000 it cost me.
Really?
Yeah, it was an expensive hole.
I'm going to just tell the quickest story of all time. I was shit-faced. I was leaving a golf course one day, and I was in my cart.
Mm-hmm.
And my buddy's car was like right there.
Yeah.
And so, I drive over, and he dumps his stuff in his car, and I turn the wheel. And like on a golf cart, once it's going, it goes.
Yeah.
And so you can and the wheel will just kind of do itself back, right? And so I turn around and bring my cart back. All of a sudden, I look over to my right, and I see in this golf cart a very beautiful woman in a black dress and heels.
Oh, Jesus.
in a golf cart, and she's driving past the first tee towards 10. And I'm shit-faced. And I'm driving the cart, and I had turned to face the clubhouse. And like I said, I went, oh, and I looked back one more. You never see a beautiful woman dressed like that in a golf course. So I did the old double take, and then I turned back, and I plowed right into the side of a car. And I totaled it. And I initially grabbed the cart. Somehow, with my hands, I put my left foot on the ground, and I lifted the cart, and I moved it so that I could drive around the car. I was going to hit and run.
And you got caught?
The ranger said, "Sir, did you just hit that car?" And I said, "Yeah, I did. Where do I go to report this? I'm not sure where I go now. I got to report this, right, to somebody.
Yeah.
Who can I tell? I feel terrible about this. It's not like I was going to leave."
I had it was like the day before my law school graduation. So went golf, and I got hammered. And I'm probably like 100 yards from the green. I grabbed my driver. I'm having a day. And I hit a rocket. Like a rocket off the deck. And this poor old guy was just parking golf carts. And I'm like, oh no. It ricochets off the golf cart. Hits him in the chest. And I see him like, oh! I left my clubs in the golf cart on the course and never went back for him.
You just gotta go.
And just sprinted. And then the next day, I had my graduation. So my ex-wife, we were just started dating at the time, maybe like 4 months. I was like, we got to stop at Kohl's. I need dress socks, and I didn't have any dress socks. I didn't wear dress socks, but I had no money. Like, I remember the first time I took my ex-wife out, we went to like Harbor Park, and I went to go get money out of the ATM. I only had $4 in it, so I just sat in the car because I had no money to take her out. And so I come out of Kohl's on her way to the law school graduation. I was like, you need to go. I was like, could you just drive? She's like, where's your socks? I'm like, I have 6 pairs on my feet.
Oh my God.
I was wearing stolen socks across the stage of my law school graduation. Cheers to this guy. Change of plans. Sometimes you got to think on the fly, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what I do best here at Change of Plans, MPF Law, on this podcast. You never know what you're going to get. I think we had like 2 viewers tonight. I think we're up to 4 right now.
Yeah, they're dialing it in.
All right.
By the way, we just cleared the 1,500 download mark.
Is that good?
That is good. Yes, it's very good.
All right. Check us out on iTunes, Spotify. We're going to work on a YouTube channel pretty soon. And you know where to find me if you guys want us to talk about some stuff that we don't hit on a regular basis. I'll curate a little episode for everybody. You like that? Curate? What a...
Look at this guy. He's using all the fancy words.
I couldn't say that word. Kelly, can you go scroll up? Compartmentalize. There it is!
Compartmentalizing. I'm going to give Phyllis the last word. Your mom says,
good night.
We'll see you next time.
All right.
He's going to actually finish that tonight, which will be nice. I usually have to dump his out. No kidding.